So y'all know how I always tell you guys stories about shapeshifters in Haiti, and also people turning into cats, dogs too, but mostly cats. Well,
a girl sent me a story and said that she saw her ex-best friend shapeshift right before her eyes. She
100% real shapeshifting. Caught on video.
The Epstein file release, there is a new discussion that is happening online of that of Nephilim.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all pay. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, this is money coming.
so y'all know how I always tell you guys stories about shapeshifters in Haiti, and also people turning into cats, dogs too, but mostly cats. Well, hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny. I have a bunch of shapeshifting stories for you guys today, and not only that, but some stuff that are coming out of the Epstein files of people actually talking about the elites, you know, tapping into some serious things in order to shapeshift, or some sort of entity entering their body, so using them as a host in order to do what they need to do when they come into this realm, right? Because they need a host, they need to hitchhike on a body in order to be able to do whatever physical things that they need to do. So we have some stories straight out of New York of people experiencing, and not just experiencing, but witnessing strange things that come out of New York. So basically, shapeshifter in Brooklyn. There's one of the stories, as soon as she said Flatbush, I fell out. I was like, all these Haitians and Africans in Flatbush, it's not unlikely that they would spot a shapeshifter. And
Okay, so quick story time. Very quick, very quick story time, right? Boom. Okay, so every time I tell this story, nobody believes me, right? But maybe, I'm 26, so maybe 10 years ago, I was walking through Prospect Park with a friend. Prospect Park is a park in Brooklyn, for those of you who don't know. And we used to have strict parents, so strict moms. So we used to walk our dogs at night as just a way to be outside. My lace is lifting, so be quiet. So anyway, back to that. So anyway, we were walking that night, and we usually took flashlights with us and things like that, just to be safe. And her dog was super well trained, so her dog was off the leash, you know, exploring, and suddenly her dog was really scared and started crying. So if I remember correctly, we had just passed like this type of, you know, trail with, there were still some lights, but as we passed it, there were no more lights. And this is a picture of Prospect Park, just so you have a good idea. So her dog is crying, we're panicking, we don't know what's going on, and there's a fence, like one of those little flimsy fences, so we had to like kind of push it down to help her dog get out, because her dog was just completely panicking and refused to go any further. So at this point, I'm like, nah, maybe, you know, maybe some people pass by or something, right, that triggered a response. Had to check my mirror. That triggered a response from her dog. Nope, nothing. So we're looking with the flashlights, and we walk a little further in the darkness, and we see like a cat walking towards one of those stairwells, like, you know how they have steps in the park. So these are the steps, right? That's basically what the steps look like, but this is like the second layer of the steps. If you go down a little further, it's kind of like the stairs are above the ground, and you could step to the side of the steps and possibly even go behind the steps, right? So a cat is walking by, the cat goes behind the steps. Nothing. Cool. We keep looking. A man pops out from where the cat just went. And after the man pops out, he pulls his clothes out from the corner and puts his clothes on. So we're looking at each other like, Did we just see a shapeshifter? Every time I tell this story, nobody believes me. So as the person comes out from the side of the stairs, you know, the steps, pulling out clothes from the bushes, another couple comes down, you know, the stairs, and they're looking at us, we're looking at them. We have the flashlights. They're looking. It was just confusion. And every time I tell this story, nobody believes me. What do you think?
100% real shapeshifting. Caught on video. What do you think? Do you believe this is possible? Share your thoughts. Follow and heart this video. Thanks for watching.
I saw a shapeshifter on the train.
I was on the train, I think it was like Friday or Saturday. I went to the city to go see one of my friends. He is staying like in Times Square and shit. Yeah, this is his first time visiting the city. So like, when I'm on the train, it's like this one guy, he starts holding the rails and he's like shaking on the rails, and like you can see like his eyes, they went like pitch black, and everybody else, like we all just looking around on the train, I'm like, yo, he's shapeshifting, and it was like something was like coming out of his back or whatever, but like on the next stop, like we all got off because we didn't know what the hell was going on. And when I went to try to record with my phone, it just went like pitch black. And like that's something we gotta be aware of, like right now, like with everything we see in the news about the aliens and there's other entities here. That woman that was on the plane, she wasn't tripping. Well, she told you this motherfucker is not real. That motherfucker is not real. Like, there's a whole bunch of that going on right now.
Alright, so another shapeshifter story in Brooklyn, in Flatbush. Let me think. So I was walking my dog. It was pretty close to midnight, and I realized, you know, it's a lady walking towards me on the sidewalk. Nothing too major or whatever. She ends up getting off the sidewalk, so I assumed that she was getting into the driver's seat of the car that was parked. I was wrong. Basically, you know, the woman is literally walking towards me. She walks around the car, you know, I'm assuming, like I said, that she's getting in the driver's seat, and no one gets in the car. But no one walks by the car either. She didn't cross the street, like I could see, you know what I'm saying? Like she didn't cross the street, she didn't get in the car, and she didn't go around the car. But guess what comes out from under the car? A fucking cat. And not just a cat, but a black one. And I know, you know, the black cat superstition thing, whatever, but no woman disappears and a black cat comes out from under the car, essentially from where she would have been standing on the other side of the car. It comes under the car from like the front left tire and comes out of from under the front of the car. Blew my mind.
A girl sent me a story and said that she saw her ex-best friend shapeshift right before her eyes. She does want to remain anonymous. She says that this does sound a little woo-woo and she just doesn't want anybody coming for her. I told her that was perfectly fine. We will keep her anonymous. As always, a couple of disclaimers before we get started. Number one, these stories are not mine. You do not need to yell at me in the comments, okay? Number two, if I can pass you on the road or see you at the grocery store, these are not your stories. It's too personal. It's a line that I don't want to cross. Okay. Just for storytelling's sake, we are going to call this girl Lauren. All names and locations in this story have been changed. Lauren told me that this happened years ago, but it's something that she just can't get out of her head and she doesn't understand what happened. At the time, Lauren is in her 20s and she has two best friends, so it's a group of 3 of them. They're all single at this time, so their weekends, they all go out together, they party, they have a good time. This particular evening, all three of them are together, they're sticking to their routine. They have this one dive bar where they really like to go because the drinks are super duper cheap. So all three of them walk in, they walk up to the bar, they order their drinks, they take their drinks, they sit them down at the table, they drink their drinks. No one else touches their drinks, no one else does anything with their drinks. She wanted to clarify this because of what she saw. She doesn't want anyone thinking that someone slipped something into her drink that made her hallucinate. It wasn't possible. After they finish their drinks, the three of them get up and they go to the dance floor. When they're on the dance floor, a group of three guys comes up to them. So they're all kind of dancing together, they're vibing, they're having a good time, as one does. Each one of their friends kind of pairs off with a guy. They just kind of start dancing with each other, doing their own thing. A few minutes go by, they all come back together in the center of the dance floor. All six of them are dancing together. They're all kind of standing in that circle as you do when you're dancing, you're vibing. And Lauren starts to look at her friend. She says at first the things that she sees are subtle changes. Her eyes are different. And then it turns into her skin, which becomes not smooth, but scaly. And then her height. She said that her friend was not tall, but next thing she knows, she's looking at her friend and she is easily towering over her other friend and the gentleman that they're dancing with. She says she's watching this all happen. She blinks a couple of times trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And then she looks over at the guy that she had paired up with, that she had been dancing with, and he is terrified. She says that this only happens for like a split second and then her friend is back to normal. But she saw what she saw, so she starts to back away. The guy that she's dancing with also starts to back away. They walk away. She walks up to the bar, thinking that that guy is also going to stop there at the bar and talk to her. He does not. He storms past her right outside. She follows him because she wants to talk about, did you just see what I saw? So she follows him outside. He's booking it. He is gone. He's not looking at his phone. He's not talking to her. Next thing you know, he has faded into the mist. He is gone. Now, Lauren had known this girl for a long time. Like I said, they were best friends. So she's thinking, maybe it was my eyes playing tricks on me. Maybe it was the lighting. Maybe it was the loud music. I don't know. So she goes back to the booth where they originally had sat and she sits down and she's watching everything. She's trying to take everything in to see if she can come up with some sort of explanation for everything that she's just seen. The other two guys are still there, as well as her two friends. They're still on the dance floor. Lauren says she quits drinking, so she only had the one drink, and she sits down at the table and she's sitting down at the table and she's watching the lights and she's watching her friends dance and she's trying to come up with an explanation for what happened. She can come up with absolutely nothing to explain exactly what she saw. She becomes immediately freaked out, just kind of processing everything that just happened. So she decides to just leave. She does an Irish goodbye. She doesn't say goodbye to her friends, doesn't say goodbye to the guys. She said, I'm out of there just like the other dude, and books it home. After this, she says that she avoids her friend, friends, both of them, for like a month. And they keep calling her, asking her to go out, and she says no, like I don't really want to. Finally, like her friends are like, hey, we need to meet because something's going on, like you don't want to talk to us anymore, like what's happening? So she says that she agrees and she meets them for brunch. So all three of them are together and they're trying to figure out, why aren't you coming around? Like, have we done something to offend you? Like, what did we do? Lauren decides at this point that she's just going to be completely honest about what she saw that night and what happened. Now, mind you, the friend that she saw shapeshift in front of her is sitting across from her at the brunch table. She looked straight at her and she was like, I saw you shapeshift into like a reptile. She says she tells them, I realize how ridiculous that sounds. Like, I know, it's weird. So she tries to kind of like make it a joke and laugh it off. Well, she's staring at her friend who she's sitting across from, the one who she saw shapeshift. Try saying that 10 times fast. She's sitting across from the one who she saw shapeshift. And she notices that she doesn't think that this is funny. Her friend becomes very intense and asks her very serious questions. What did you see? What did I look like? What did I change into? Lauren says she's still trying to laugh it off and just like answer the questions and be kind of silly about it. She's apologizing to her friend. She said, maybe it was just the lighting. Like, I don't know. I just couldn't explain it. It just kind of freaked me out for a little bit. But this friend that she's sitting across from is like very concerned. They finish their brunch. The girls get up and leave. They all go their separate ways. Lauren never sees her again. Poof. Vanishes. The other friend doesn't know what happened to her either. No idea. Lauren in her message said that this still affects her to this day because she was so close with this girl. Like, this was her best friend, and she doesn't understand what she saw that day, why her friend took it so seriously, why she dropped off the face of the planet. She said that she like did some research and then like found like some answers on Reddit and stuff. Basically has come to the conclusion that her friend was a reptilian. She told me she'd never seen anything like that beforehand, and she hasn't seen anything like that since. She said she's a very logical person. She's not woo-woo, but she cannot explain what she saw that night. All she says is she saw what she saw. What do you think she saw? As always, thank you guys so much for sending me your stories. I have a ton of DMs. I am going through them. I think I might have to make an email just to keep everything more organized. I will keep you up to date, but keep them coming. I absolutely love reading them. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for participating as well.
Nobody can rightfully say whether this is real or AI generated anymore. It's a video of these shapeshifters changing and shifting on stage like for a performance, passing it off as some sort of illusionist performance, but there's actually something a lot darker happening here. Allegedly filmed in the 90s, hence the video quality, and before AI generated videos were a thing. But obviously AI can intentionally generate videos to look blurry, grainy, and like they were filmed in the 90s. We genuinely don't know what's real and what's AI generated anymore, and this is sparking some huge debates online. People saying these shapeshifters were performing some sort of ritual for the elites, and others that it's definitely 100% AI. Grok AI on X couldn't seem to make up its mind, telling us it's authentic 90s footage one moment and oh, never mind, it's actually AI generated the next. So I took matters into my own hands and popped this video into an online AI video detector, which told us it's 99.85% not AI generated, so it's real. And then it told us it's 99.83% AI generated when I ran it again. It also doesn't seem to be able to make up its mind. This is actually very concerning. If AI video detectors can no longer tell us what's real and what's AI generated, we can't prove anything anymore. AI videos are going to be thought to be real, and real videos are going to be thought to be AI. Nothing is real anymore. You can take a video of the most incredible, mind-blowing thing you've ever seen, and no one will ever believe you.
And majority of the shapeshifters are cats. Black cats to be exact. Now there's nothing about black cats that would say, oh, they choose to shapeshift into black cats, but for some reason they always favor cats. Now I don't know if you guys know like the true spiritual meaning, like not necessarily meaning, but dogs. So in the spirit realm, so a lot of people in the spiritual believe that dogs, just like they call them man's best friend, at one point were people, right? That is the reason why dogs are so smart. And this might not be a scientifically proven, to be true. I was just having some sort of, it's proven to be true, but a lot of people do believe that dogs at one time used to be animals. So I don't know if you guys remember all the videos I show you about the lugaus and stuff, and how the dogs kind of resemble people and they're doing all these things that look like what a person would do. And a lot of times people who are psychics can communicate with your familiar, which is your dog, your cat, or whatever. Majority of the time, when they explain what like your dog is feeling and what your dog wants to tell you, they sound very much like humans. So a lot of times, most people believe that dogs were humans at one point, but there's something that happened one way or another. They become dogs, and they basically are punished to be a dog for the rest of their life. So every time they reincarnate, they will reincarnate back into a dog. So that is the reason why sometimes I always, side-eye a dog, because I'm like, who were you in your past life? Were you a murderer? Were you a this? Were you a that type stuff? But anyways, we're going to get into these crazy stories of these shapeshifters. And quickly, I'm going to show you a video. You've probably already seen in the intro, but I'm gonna post it up as well later, of this young lady who they believe is in Haiti. It looks very much like Haiti. When I look at the video, it looks very much like Haiti. The streets and everything looks like Haiti, where she basically was a young lady, and she kneeled down and she basically turned into a dog. When I saw that video, I was like, this sounds about right. This seems about right. The time, when she transferred or transformed, and also how it all happened. Now, I know a lot of people will look at this and say, this cannot be true. Well, don't dismiss anything until you actually have witnessed, not necessarily witnessed, but you have experience. You have heard stories of people who wouldn't make shit like this up, right? So like in Haiti, it's very likely that someone could tell you a crazy story like this, where they said that they witnessed their neighbor turn into a dog. It's very popular that this is something that's normal, because a lot of times those people it's a thing in Creole. It's called a point. So you would go to a warlock or a witch, and you would do whatever it is that they require, and they will give you a point. A point is basically like a reset, like a ritual that they do, and they will put the spell in like a scarf, a mouchoir, and they will tell you, this is the mouchoir, this is the scarf. You just pull it out whenever you need something to happen. You want to disappear, you'll pull it out. Because this is a very, very popular story, and I have to tell you guys, but it's kind of personal, so I have to choose a time and a place. I might even have to put it in my members only, because it's crazy about this man who basically pulled out his mouchoir, his scarf, when he was in the middle of the ocean. And he basically jumped into the water, and he basically disappears. And a lot of his family still till this day believe that he's still alive, even though he disappeared in the middle of the ocean. Everybody who was on the boat was unalive except for this man, but he disappears. I have to tell y'all that story another day. But there's another story that was told to me a long time ago, but it was from a very credible source. This person was related to the person that actually turned into a pig, and it happened in New York. So his brother, I'd say brother, right? His brother was a very popular gang member in New York, and he used to like sell Uggs and all that stuff. And one day the police raided the entire house. Everybody in the house ended up getting taken to jail and everything. He was in this one room, and as soon as they bust into that room, the man, all they saw was just a random pig. Everyone in that house, including his brother, believed that it was him that turned into a pig, because he had one of those is considered as a point, which is like, normally, I don't know if you could get someone to do that for you here, someone who is clearly initiated and someone who can tap into like really serious magic in order for them to give you that kind of thing. Because a lot of people would either get a scarf or something, or they'll get one of those a ring, like a Mason kind of ring, you know, those Mason Lodge and Freemason kind of rings, but it's not those, but it's a ring that is set, that is fixed for you to wear, to carry around, and whenever you're ready, you can rub it, or you can like whatever you were supposed to do to activate this thing. This man turned into a pig. Of course, the police didn't understand what happened. They knew that he was in the room because he was talking to them, and then they opened the door, they bust the door open, and all they saw was a pig. They did not kill the pig. They did take the pig with them, and they ended up taking the pig to like an animal place. But after that, his friend ended up seeing his friend again. So his friend obviously escaped the place that he was in, because he was actually a pig. They didn't kill the pig. Because the cops, you know, over here in America, they don't believe anything unless they see it with their two eyes. So they don't believe that the man could actually turn into the pig. Obviously, they're looking for a man, and they saw a pig. They're like, well, it can't be him, right? Because everything's about science. They have to be proven this to be true for them to believe it. So obviously, you know, they didn't believe that the man was a pig. But anyways, so that happens, and I'll tell you, there's so many other stories that I have heard from other people, and I believe them because I'm from a country where those things are not far-fetched. So when you hear stories like this, especially if it's someone that you know is credible, you believe it, because you know, okay, well, this is okay, well, I can see that. I can see that because it's a very popular thing. But also, I have stories of things that are coming out of the Epstein, of people who are turning into reptilians and all that stuff, shapeshifters and reptilians, and all these sacrifices that they're doing with children and all that stuff. I can believe it because they're tapping into very serious, dark things that can actually grant them these things. And they are working with extraterrestrials and all that, but entities that are not from here. And I'm not going to keep saying that, oh, these people are doing these nefarious things, because the entity require, no, these people know what they're doing. They choose to do these things to children in order to get the reward of, I don't know, being shapeshifters, or, you know, offering their body as a host for entities to come in, and in exchange they get power. So let's get into these crazy stories, because there's a lot of them that are very interesting, and towards the end you'll hear about the Epstein things. But these are real stories of real people encountering real things all over the world. New York, on the train, and all that. Y'all know this is what we do here. This is the woo-woo channel. So if you're not into all that stuff, please check out another video, because I have other videos. But if you're into all that stuff, welcome back. Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny. I think I already said that already, but let's get into the story time.
Here's what's at the bottom of the Epstein rabbit hole.
Congratulations, you've made it to the bottom of the Epstein rabbit hole. Pay close attention. Jeffrey Epstein was on the board of directors for an organization called the Lifeboat Foundation. He was also on the board of directors for an organization called Teachers in Space. Look them both up. They actually exist. They have websites. They don't even try to hide what they're doing. The Lifeboat Foundation builds giant underground cities, okay? They openly advertise it, and for a fee and with an application letter, they might accept you to join their little society where they apparently have whole cities underground. They also advertise to take their clients off-world in the event of a catastrophe. And it's really interesting because Teachers in Space also talks about taking payloads off-world, which is all really weird, right? It gets even more interesting. You see, Donald Barr was the one who inducted Jeffrey Epstein with zero experience into the Dalton Institute, where he was a teacher. Donald Barr wrote a really interesting book called Relations in Space about an aristocratic elite trafficking children into space. Are you following me here? What's even weirder is the district attorney that was supposed to prosecute Jeffrey Epstein and bring him to justice was literally William Barr, Donald Barr's son. Now, the Lifeboat Foundation is really interesting because in 1996, they pioneered wireless money transfers. They're the second organization in the world to ever do this. This is a decade or two before Bitcoin even was a concept, right? So you got an organization that is doing wireless money transfers that are untraceable, large sums of money, and they're building giant underground infrastructures. It gets even weirder. I found out through looking on archive.org that Lifeboat Foundation has a homeless youth outreach program. And they used to have a whole station in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and a whole board of people. They're all out of the Rhinelander, Wisconsin area. And they had this meeting in 2017, a homelessness problem-solving meeting, right? So you have an organization that's interested in homeless youth, interested in wireless money transfers, and interested in underground infrastructure. I don't know if you guys heard about Sasha Riley, but he's telling the truth. He was trafficked by the Epstein elite. He was in snuff films that he survived, but he witnessed people get unalived. And what I'm telling you is it gets crazier. The reason why Epstein surrounded himself with a scientific elite is because he was doing human cloning and he was doing consciousness transferal and stuff like this. I swear to God, I know this gets crazy, but it's true. And what I'm telling you is he had celebrities down there. He had a cloning center down there. And I know because I was in some of these films. They're on the dark web. I'm in films on the dark web, okay? And what they're gonna try to say is it's all AI because there's celebrities and stuff in it. It's not, all right? It's not AI.
Oh, by the way, we had this happen. This is an image analysis. I don't know if it's real. A lot of this is usually not real. But is that Hillary Clinton? I think it could be.
The Epstein file release, there is a new discussion that is happening online of that of Nephilim. I have to stress before I begin that Nephilim and talks of these creatures stem from Nazi ideology. It stems from master race speak. There are two schools of thought. First school of thought is that the Nephilim are fallen angels that were sent down here to kill the I can't remember the name of them right now, guys, I apologize. Basically, we had what were Titans before they were classified as Titans, so they came down to kill all of these gigantic creatures during the time of Noah. There are biblical figures that help with this and heed warnings from God, like Noah. Okay. The second is that this is an alien race that first discovered Earth, that came down and then made it into what it is today. They are described as extremely tall, blonde hair, blue-eyed, pale-skinned individuals that hold the power of God. Think original angel, but really is an alien. Now, why is this rhetoric, it just, in my humble opinion, very, very dangerous? Because this is what they were speaking about in Nazi Germany when it came to the extermination of the Jews. They blamed the Jews religiously for the fact that the Nephilim had come to begin with, and thought that all Jews were not pure and they did not fall within the 13 bloodlines of the Nephilim. So essentially, these leaders around the world believed that each of them, or some of them, or someone on Earth who was very, very powerful, held the bloodline to the Nephilim immediately. And they turned around and in the same breath said that the reason that the world was the way it was because of the greed of Jewish people, because they were predominantly over the banks, they were predominantly over the entertainment, and they were predominantly over the propaganda. They said that the Jews had infiltrated into every single part of every single piece of every single person's life. They had infiltrated and made the world sour, or had made it gone evil. It was the religious way that they were able to set up concentration camps and exterminate millions of people. So when you're hearing about Nephilim, 13 bloodlines, all these things, I really, really need you to take pause. And this is where the gift of discernment really comes into play. There are a lot of people that tie this whole thing back with Epstein, the Rothschilds, all of these things. They tie them back to this spoken prophecy that is of biblical measure. This is also where the cabal situation comes into play, and it's dangerous. I'm a deconstructed Christian. We grew up with the Left Behind movies. We grew up with the Left Behind books, and this being drilled into our skull. And a lot of that, like Armageddon talk, 13 bloodlines, all those things were also like written, pasted, copied, and then pushed into these books and movies. And it's dangerous. It is a massive, massive dog whistle. I'm not judging you for believing it if you do, but I'm not knocking you if you believe in this kind of thing. I just really hope that while you're reading these files, your mind doesn't just wander in these directions, because it's meant to. They want you to think that it's some alien race. They want you to think it has something to do with these biblical prophecies. They want you to think that because it's a bigger distraction and it makes you look crazy. It takes away from the pain and the responsibility of what these men were doing. And I do believe that Jeffrey, in some capacity, was just a middleman to some degree, but we cannot also say that he was a secretary or he was just the middleman, because that takes the responsibility off of him. It also takes the responsibility off of other people who are in these files who committed these crimes. Each and every single one of these men and women need to pay. There needs to be another Nuremberg. There needs to be, I cannot express to you the anger that I feel within myself and in my soul over what these people have done to children and adults, and it's just disgusting. I'm not telling you what to believe in, but I'm begging you to please not become distracted. Don't fall down these other rabbit holes. Stick to the plan, stick to what you need to do, stick to speaking up about the survivors and the victims of this situation. If you start talking about it or want to, that's totally fine, but use the gift of discernment. Every single one of us has it. Don't forget, if you like content like this, go ahead and click all these buttons. Make sure you drop your comment down below. Have you heard of the Nephilim and 13 bloodlines theory? I hope you have a beautiful day. Please stay blessed, stay happy, stay safe, and stay full. And please, for the love of God, remember not to shit your pants. And I will talk to you later. Bye.
Quick little story time. I know I haven't been around in a minute, and I know you've all missed me, so here we go. In the summertime, I was hanging out late. Once again, you know, proving I belong to the streets. No, I'm playing. But I was on 145th in Harlem waiting for the D train, right? And it was probably like about, I want to say 3 in the morning. Probably about 2:30 in the morning, right? And I'm standing there, I'm waiting on the platform. There's a couple of people standing there. The train was probably coming like in the next like 8 minutes or something, right? I see, if anybody knows about, 145th Street subway train station, it's about three platforms, right? So it's the one I'm on, which is going uptown. Then it's a middle one that no one is on. And then it's the next one, which is the downtown one, right? Okay, boom. I'm standing there and I see this old black woman, like on my peripheral, right? Because I'm on my phone, so I'm looking down on my phone. But, I'm paying attention because, I'm from the motherfucking Bronx. And, I'm motherfucking make sure that I'm motherfucking always pay attention. So I'm standing there and I see on my peripheral this old black woman coming from the left, right? And I'm like, something tells me like something's off about her. You know what I mean? Like something's not correct. So I stay on my phone, my head a little down, but I can feel this old woman looking at me from across the platform, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I just feel like something isn't right. You know what I'm saying? So I look up and I see that she's still walking across from me, but slowly, and she has like a shopping cart. And the moment I look at her, I'm like, nah, something's not right. Like, it felt like if she wanted me to look at her, okay? I'm very intuitive. I'm very smart. Your boy's a little psychic. And I'm like, all right, let me put my fucking head back down, right? So I put my fucking head back down. And I see that she goes to go down the staircase on the platform that she's on, right? So when I look up one more time, I make sure to, I look at her and I look, fully at her. And I see she has on like a black cardigan with like a black shirt underneath it and a red skirt, right? And she has a shopping cart. And now keep in mind, this is like 2:33 in the morning. So I'm like, damn, she's out here late. But that wasn't even what I was thinking about. I'm thinking about like the way she kept looking at me, like it was really eerie and it was really like off-putting, you know what I'm saying? It really made me feel like, hold on, like this is not right. Like it was giving like creepy vibes, like real like sinister creepy vibes. I swear I'm not lying. So she goes, now remember, she had on a black shirt and a red skirt. She goes down the stairs slowly. And I'm like, okay, oof. Like, thank God that she went downstairs because she was like fucking creeping me out the way she was staring at me all the way from across the two platforms. I swear to God, the next thing I know, a Hispanic older woman comes down from the staircase on the platform that I'm on, the uptown platform. The black woman was on the downtown platform. Now a Hispanic woman comes down the staircase on the platform I'm on, and she has on a red tube top, okay, with like blue jeans. So I don't think nothing of it. She's about, I want to say 50 feet away from me. When she comes down the staircase, she's looking around at the signs like if she doesn't know, you know what I'm saying, like where she's at, or like if maybe she's going in the wrong direction, or blah, 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 right? Normally, I'm the type to always try to help somebody in the fucking subway if I see they don't know where they're going, if I see if they look lost, I'm the type to help them, right? So I'm like, boom, okay. I put my head down because something told me to just put my head down again. So I'm on my phone, right? And I'm looking on my phone, and I'm like, on my peripheral, once again, I see that the Hispanic woman with the red tube top keeps looking at the signs like she don't know where she's going. So I said, you know what? Obviously, this woman looks like she's lost. It's in the middle of the fucking night. I'm like, let me tell her that, like, because I checked on my phone to see when the next train was coming. So I was like, maybe she doesn't know, like I said, where she's going. So I was gonna tell her, miss, do you need directions, or tell her that the train was on the way, because I could see it on the app on my phone. When I go to say this to her, I turn to the side. When I go to say this to her, right when I go to say it to her, she turns around and goes back up the stairs. So I'm like, okay, like, it's out of my hands, right? Like, I was gonna try to help her. But let me tell you how the universe works. Sometimes the universe does things or makes us react slowly or react fastly on purpose. Me going to say something to her at the exact moment was what the universe did not want me to do. And that's why when I went to say something to her, she turned around and walked up the stairs. About 30 seconds later, she comes back down the stairs. So now I see that she's coming closer to me. So I moved down a little more. Something was telling me, like, walk down the platform a little more, like the train is coming, like, just move down a little more, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you ain't gotta be in the same cart with her. Something was telling me, like, move away from this woman, move away from this woman. The Hispanic woman that now has on a red tube top. I see out the corner of my eyes, she keeps looking at me. And I'm like, yo, I'm not feeling it. Like, I'm getting a real eerie, scary feeling from this woman. Like the black woman that I just saw across the platform in the red fucking skirt. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on, right? I go to sit in a cart. Like, the train pulls in, it stops. She's standing by one cart. I go to make sure to move into the next cart, right? I get in a seat that there was like a space in between and someone sitting next to me. There was a young black girl across from me and there was a seat open next to her. This Hispanic woman comes into the cart I'm in after she was already in front of the doors of a different cart. Comes into the cart with me and I realize that, one, she's transgender, and I realize, two, that she's giving me real creep, like something's off, y'all. Like, I swear to God, like, I felt it in my spirit, my soul. And she goes, and I see on my peripheral, because I got my head down, but I'm playing dumb, like I'm on my phone, and I see her go to say something to me. So I turn the volume down all the way on my headphones, and I don't look up at her. And she's like, excuse me. And I refuse to look up. The girl next to her is like, you okay? And she's like, oh, yeah, does this go to one something something? And the girl's like, yeah, it does. And she's like, okay, thank you. And y'all, I knew for sure that the universe was like, yo, don't say nothing to this woman. Don't look at her, don't say nothing to her. And thank God that girl next to her was like, oh, do you need help? Because I know that young black girl saved me as well. Like, by intervening. I swear to God, y'all, I'm not lying. I know that old black woman with the red skirt that was staring at me turned into this fucking Hispanic woman with the red tube top. I swear to God on everything, I am not lying. I know that when that one woman walked down the stairs, she came back up as another woman on my platform. I know I'm not making this up. I know from the bottom of my heart and my soul, this is the fucking truth. And let me tell you something. People are evil in life, and people send evil fucking things after you, bro, to get you. I swear to God. And I know that was an evil, demonic spirit that someone sent after me. It literally shape-shifted, bro, and I know it did because it was the same energy, the same aura, the same look it was giving me as the other woman across the platform. I swear to God on everything, I'm not lying. Thank God, I was like, please don't let her get off the train at my stop. Thank God she didn't. She got off a stop before. But I know in my heart that was an evil fucking demon that someone sent after me, bro.
Oh, by the way, we had this happen. This is an image analysis. I don't know if it's real. A lot of this is usually not real. But is that Hillary Clinton? I think it could be.
touch up some stuff on this book. So in this book is called Spell of Abundance, Love, Wealth, and Protection. So in this book, on the first page, actually, I have a glamour affirmation that you will basically say, you stand in front of the mirror and you stare at yourself and you admire yourself and you will say to yourself how beautiful you are. You'll basically seal your beauty, like your glam, after you've done your makeup, or even stand in front of the mirror naked with nothing on, so you can really reaffirm yourself of your beauty, of your confidence, and all that. This book is mainly for like self-confidence and self-elevation, you know, calling the goddess in you, calling the divinity in you, you know, calling the beauty in you, and also work with the moon, because the moon represents the woman, the mother, water, all of this. So yeah, I have all the steps in here of all the spells that you need to. It has one for to get rid of unwanted guests. It's pretty funny. To get rid of unwanted guests. And this book right here, right? So I'm gonna run down real quick about the materials that you're going to need. You will need a brand new broom. It has to be brand new. And you will need a piece of parchment paper, a black pen, a black trash bag, because we're going to get rid of this sucker, right? And of course your intentions. And also I have spells on here that you can say. I have daily affirmations, and also I have spells on here that you can do every single day to work with the energy of the planets of the day, and also the archangels that work with the day. So anyways, there's so many spells. There's a 7-day manifestation spell with archangels, and let's see, a 30-day money spell with bay leaves and the Fihu sign, which is a money sign. It's like an F with the extra part. Anyways, the symbol is there, and I even show you like what you need to do, what the sigil looks like, all that, and the keys to enhance your spell. So there are different things on here on how to enhance your spell.